Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, Bitcoin hits all-time highs. We're going to break that down. We're going to break down the dollar, U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, the S&P, the NASDAQ, Grandpa Dow. Might as well take a peek at the Russell. Why not? And then we'll talk about the stock market's expected moves for the week. I guess first and foremost, let's just bring up the news in general. We're going to jump into Bitcoin after this. As far as the economic calendar goes, let's see, Monday, PMI. Let's see, Tuesday we will have, I guess, retail sales. Nothing really moving anything. PMI might have some volatility pre-market. That's all that is. Uh, actually, that is 15 minutes after the bell. So we'll see. Just some very morning volatility. Doubt anything. For the rest of the week, we have building permits. Won't do much. Fed interest rates, FOMC minutes on Wednesday. Thursday, we will have just existing home sales, nothing crazy there. Friday, PCE. So we'll have some excuses to move futures around, but I don't know how much things will actually move based off this data. Just it being the end of the year, I mean it, guys. Volume is about to really die out, so you want to be careful or selective with your trades going into the year. If you're worried about moving with big money, call it smart money, whatever you want, they're about to take a vacation. And then again, they're not worried about you guys. Let's do it in the normal order. As far as the dollar goes, that is in a weekly zone right here. Now, I actually am long the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, and I have a tighter trail on it right now just because we broke out above this. I wanted to go long. Once we do turn around, I'll go a lot heavier back in short, but just for the current time being. Breaking above this, I did go long. Stop is in the green, so as long as it continues to go up, I'll just continue to make money. But when it does turn around, I'm probably going to go pretty heavy as far as the short position goes. But right now, kind of just seeing what we got here. This could just be another lower high, kind of hitting these two green lines is a monthly zone. Jumping into why you're probably here. Bitcoin hit all-time highs. Breaking it completely down. We kind of jumped right here. We broke that 100K mark. We jumped up, hit a high of 104, sold off all the way down to this yellow zone we had right here, 92,000. Popped right back up. Ultimately, we were holding this 97. Call it 90. Call it 97, give or take 1,000 almost. Hold on. And we'd push up. We'd bounce off this blue zone. We'd come back down. We would try to break this yellow zone. Ultimately, we would hold it right here. So this is kind of like how algos work. Anything below 96.8 was the, hey, start buying the coins. Start filling that order. And it did. We saw the buyers step up, really hold it, kind of push it up. Finally broke that previous wick. So whatever sellers were sitting here at this 102, almost 103 mark, more honestly, actually, we'll call it 101 we'll call it just 103. No sellers there anymore. Looks like everybody that was taking profit or just selling at the top. No more sell orders. So we finally got that push up. All the Robinhood folks were notified. 24-hour trading opened back up. So if you are in Beto, Mara, MicroStrategy, MSTY, all of those have a nice gap up right now. So looking at that, congrats to you guys. Honestly, I would expect the pullbacks to remain pretty similar to kind of how they have been, and until this kind of channel up breaks for the remainder of the year, I would not be the least bit surprised to see us stay in this channel the remainder of the year. Like Kyle says, are your thumbs broken? Hit that like button for our boy. It's exactly what you should do. Like and share would be nice. We're definitely trying to be more consistent growing, so the videos just aren't going to stop. I will say this before we jump into the futures and everything else. Because the remainder of the year gets a lot slower, I'm actually going to put a lot more time focusing into the lesson side of things. If this just wasn't your year trading, let's figure out why, and let's bridge that gap as to where you're at and where I'm at. I've been doing this 12 years. So without that 12 years of your own experience, you're probably going to need to borrow some of mine. That would be like the perfect sales pitch too. Like, this is where you should join the Patreon, buy my course. If you do buy the course, it is a lifetime, so there's no need to join the Patreon. But that is only until Christmas. That is not a pitch. I do have to pay to kind of have that website up and everything. It won't be up anymore after that. I brought it back as a Black Friday thing, extended to Christmas. Anyway, Patreon's going to be it. You can stay there as long as you want. But anyway, I guess it does stand to note you can practice a bunch of dumb things for the next 12 years, and it doesn't necessarily mean you'll be. I don't want to be cocky and say at my level, but kind of at a trader's level, if that makes sense. How to draw zones, please. I mean, I do have that video. Most of my live streams are literally talking about that, just so you guys can watch me do it. That's why I don't like moving zones. I don't like actually moving these lines or even drawing these lines unless I'm live. That way no one can say, like, I drew that after the fact. No, it was just magic. I drew it before, and then they bounced off of that. Anyway, so I know this is a lot of you guys are here live. If you want to comment down below on the actual video recording, TikTok, you don't have this because TikTok doesn't post these like YouTube does. It is on YouTube. So you can go check that out and comment. Ask any of the questions down below. Why didn't you make 150% this year? How to get started investing in 2025? Perhaps a Roth IRA? Might not be bad. Yeah, just hope the broker and open one of those. I will say it is. I thought it was funny at first, but the amount of people that have opened up a Roth IRA, put money in it, and it didn't grow, and they're so confused, was actually mind-blowing. You do have to invest in things. It's just a tax advantage account. The money still needs to go somewhere. All right, moving on. The S&P futures, as far as the futures go, they do roll over tomorrow. Shout out to Steve for that, keeping us that little reminder in the chat. Your futures, you're probably already on the next futures contract. Liquidity is going to be nothing right now if you haven't changed already. But I will say futures right now, holding this blue zone, kind of holding it up. I would be bullish. I expected this the Thursday. No, it was the Wednesday pullback. I didn't expect the second day. That was annoying. So we got the pop up. It was a day off on that last week. Anyway, we jumped up, hit that yellow zone, pulled back. Right now, we're kind of holding. I gotta say, although I am kind of bullish the rest of the year, bullish because of probably a lack of sellers. I got to keep an eye on the fact that's. I could probably draw a better trend line for you. Somewhere along here, we're making lower highs, and we're only at a blue zone. I expect more of the yellow zones to hold. Blue zones, it's no surprise. It's where I expect things to be turbulent. But it is interesting that I'm just curious how much longer we're going to be holding this level. So would not surprise me in the least to see this actually break down. That would be my bounce point, this yellow zone, and where I'm going long. If we hit this yellow zone, I'm going to go long NQ futures. I'd even probably, if we hit that now Monday or Tuesday, I would be buying QQQ calls for this Friday. Looking at the S&P, now the S&P, the expected moves are all done. So if you're on the Patreon, you're in my group, you have my charts. All the expected moves are accurate, up to date. They're ready to rock for this week. Now I did copy the last crash we had, and I drew it here on the S&P, just kind of see a visual of kind of how I think 2025 is probably going to pan out. And this was just the 2022 crash right here. I just kind of copied it over up in here. Can you imagine if we don't break these highs until 2030? Yikes. Oh, now that would suck. Can we bring that in a little bit? Let's tone it down a little bit. Let's see, 2028. No, Trump would not let that happen. It would probably still be in Trump's term. Trump wants to take all the credit for it. Probably more like that. Anyway, that's what I do kind of expect to happen next year. And honestly, I got to say, guys, today was the first time I got the actual vibe. Sounds kind of weird. This is not financial advice at all. But I was looking at all the tickers, and I told you guys I've been talking about that I do think we're going to crash next year. I'm thinking around March. And it is worth noting, going back to the S&P futures right here. Now, I have this highlighted for a reason. And if you've been here for a while, then you know exactly why. This is when the Rona crash actually started. Okay, now you need to create that exit liquidity. So what they did was they pumped things up to all-time highs, get everybody jumping into the markets. This is going to be great. Markets will never pull back, yada, yada, yada. That 2018 was a fluke, and everybody was just buying. No looking back. No one's looking over their shoulder. Everything's going good. All the good news is coming out. And while that's happening, the big banks are actually selling. And that's, in fact, how I called it out the day it happened, because we kind of ran out of buyers. The big banks were still selling and actually dropped it down and hinted to anybody paying attention as to what was going on. So that's the 100% the reason why I called it out the day before it happened. And I kind of think we're doing that again. I think this is I think we're in the push up. I call it the volleyball spike because, if you're going to if you're going to spike a volleyball, someone has to set it first. They toss it up and then you hammer it down on their face, which essentially would probably be you guys, the retail investor. Am I bearish or bullish for 6A? 6A, is that the euro? Give me 1 second. The Australian dollar. Oh, you want me to pull up the actual Aussie USD? This would actually be a bearish play because if you're long the dollar, that would be bearish. This I would be catching the knife on. It'd be much better if I could catch it in that zone. Where are we at? My stop, I can tell you, my stop right now would be 0.6265. It would be below this zone regardless. I would buy it right now if I just didn't have the patience. Buy it right now, knowing full well I'm going to add on in this yellow zone, but full stop below this previous green wick right here. All right. NASDAQ. Jumping into the NASDAQ. So far, a little bit of a green open. Nothing too wild, what we'd expect on a Sunday. Bitcoin, kind of a risk-on asset, so maybe that'll jump into the Magnificent Seven as well. Maybe get a few more buyers. You probably want to watch. I think Tesla's still in the spotlight. Tesla's probably going to drive that, but we also have Google and Amazon absolutely killing it, and they carry some weight in the NASDAQ. So we'll see what those do, because if those start to take profit, you might have the NASDAQ actually pull back. You might catch that dip buy. Did I say? I was talking about NQ back here. This would be an ES contract. So if you were watching from the beginning, I said if we hit this yellow zone, I'm going to buy NQ contracts. I was referencing this as the NASDAQ. This is the S&P. So this would be ES contracts. And I would buy an ES contract. I do play in my yellow zones. For the NASDAQ would depend. If we pull back and hit that yellow zone right there, I might. It kind of depends on when we hit that. Middle of the day, not the first 10 minutes of market open. Fresh into some volume, I probably would. Hits that overnight, probably not. Jumping into this yellow zone right here is an automatic buy for me as far as the NQ contract goes. So I'll make that a little bit brighter so I know I talked about that. So right here, I like to talk about what I'm going to do. So later on when I have the video talking about why I made so much, there's always like that previous, like I told you. 50-50 on me making that video with this play right here, because it might hit it and then just might not feel right. Not going to do it. Depends on there's too many variables. Hits this one, bright red candle, little red candle. It wouldn't really matter. I'm buying that one. Let's see our expected moves, kind of hanging out. Let's go Grandpa Dow. I took a long play last time, and I kind of want to do it again right now. I'll probably have to do that during my mentorship stream, which is after this one. We do Zoom calls on Sundays and Thursdays, just so I can see everyone's faces. Make it a little more like a classroom. For now, I'm going to hang tight and see where it's at. I do kind of want to go along this right now. It's in a very consistent channel down. So if you're not a knife catcher, this play is not for you. The knife is somewhere else. I am like a circus freak. I will juggle knives on fire. Does not bother me in the slightest. Look at the Russell. Now, the Russell actually would have just been at a dip buy spot for me, right there in that yellow zone. And I told you guys this on our last few streams, like, don't really care. Get it at the yellow. We hit that. Currently, it's bouncing. Also, kind of have a nice little channel up. End of the year, maybe Santa Claus rally. Might hit it without any catalyst of let's burn this thing to the ground. This one might actually do well. Looking at financials, though, financials breaking this zone. Financials will move the Russell a lot. This is 22% of just the Russell. or like the ETF for the Russell is IWM. Most people just know it as that. I would keep an eye on that. Honestly, if you're thinking about buying a Russell contract or even IWM, I would have my alert right here at 49.30 because if the financials break that, you might not be in for a good day on the Russell. Yeah, Santa Claus needs to come to some banks. Speaking of banks, let's talk about Upstart. I've been referencing a video that I made, and I swear I haven't lost my mind because it was with the guy, Mike, and I don't know where the video is at. I'm not gonna lie, I can't find it. So I got to re-record another one as to why I've been buying this. Now I bought it over here at the peak. I added on over here. If you've been following my plays, because if you're in the Patreon or you're in my group, I post them live when it happens. I don't know if it's going up, it's going down, but I told you guys we're likely up. But I don't care. I'm going to start accumulating shares, and that's what I've been doing every week, just kind of buying a little bit. In fact, I'm going to buy more tomorrow. I don't really care where it's at high wise. I think it's going up a good chunk more. Upstart is a bank lender, actually, and they do real well. It was actually between Upstart and SoFi, which I have another video. Someone, again, from someone's comments, it was, because I say it all the time, there's over 6,000 stocks on the market right now. And I told you guys, like, hey, I'm kind of looking at this couple, Upstart, maybe SoFi. After balancing them out, kind of looking at everything, I chose Upstart. So, he thought it'd be a good idea to break down why, first of all, how I narrowed it down to the group, and then how I picked the one out of that group. So I think I am going to have a video coming out explaining how I did that with Upstart. Kind of the same thing I did with AMD versus NVIDIA. I did it a while back. When I started the growth account, it was $0. Okay. And I put $150 in. I do that on Fridays. And my first play was Palantir. Palantir was in the teens. And I told everybody, I'm buying this. And every week I bought it. And it's slow at first. And then Palantir is ridiculous. Now, speaking of Palantir, it did get added to the NASDAQ on Friday. Its expected move is $7 this week. It's got a wide expected move. So if everyone was front running that to kind of sell into the NASDAQ ETF, we shall see. But honestly, like I told you guys last time, until we break this, that's just a dip buy. This bright red candle, told you guys, just a dip buy. For now, you're up right now. Do I think quantum will be the next big trend in the next 3 to 5 years? Will put pressure on chips and crypto. I don't know if it's going to put pressure on chips and crypto. I think it's going to put a light on chips and crypto. I do think quantum's going to be big. I don't think we're that close. Honestly, I think they'll probably go hand in hand and kind of parallel. I've been kind of back and forth on, do I think, AI and humanoid robots come out first? Because they've been kind of like really sectored in together. Or do we have quantum computing? If we have quantum computing, AI is, I just don't see a world where we have quantum computing and we don't have the other things really figured out. It's a very smart computer. And really it's been, I kind of sound like the boomers. You talk to the older generation, it's AI is not going to be here, not in my lifetime, yada, yada. And it's because they've heard about robots taking over forever, and for the young crew out there, especially the ones on TikTok, they probably think the world is ending sometime soon. There's probably some narrative. Once you've lived through a million times of the world is ending, you always fall for the first one. You're like, man, that guy's got a point. Second one, you're like, oh shoot, the last guy was wrong, but this guy's got it. Like the third time, you're like, uh-huh. Fourth time, you don't even listen to it. In the year 2000, world was going to end, blow up. It was 2012, the Mayans were here, it's going to blow up, or everything was going to happen all at once. And then was World War III supposed to kick off at any day now? You mean the world's not ending? What's up, Kathy? Unfortunately, it's not. I don't think it is. Kathy she's on my real estate team. So I see her on TikTok. She does an awesome job, personal stuff, but also if you're in the KC area, she's a real estate agent. She does the things. She unlocks the doors. She shows the houses. Do I have any CTAS? I was like, I do have cats. Anyway, where are we going with that? The world's not ending. Oh, anyway, yes, I do remember I was going with that. As far as quantum computing, I've heard about quantum computing for a while now, and we've seen things. Google has their next chip, the Willow, We have the world's fastest supercomputer. The Willow chip from Google, the prototype they announced, is 1 million septillion times faster than our supercomputer, which I don't even get. But I'm still kind of on the realm of, I don't know. I don't think we're there yet. I think we'll see the other ones first. Let's see. The drones. First of all, do not shoot down the drones. No matter where you're at, don't shoot them down. What you do is you take your own drone and you fly up and you get a close up. Do not be stupid. Fly up, get a close up, and then tag me in the video or just send it to me before it gets taken down. Okay? Let's see. It's the error handling. They made it make less errors. Yeah, I went down the rabbit hole as far as the errors because it doesn't know if it's an error or not. They make a whole bunch of errors. I hear that, and maybe we do. I'm just going to put my chips in the fact that probably an AI or humanoid robots come out first. As far as quantum computing, the question was, do I think that'll be the next thing, the next big thing in the 3 to 5 years? I don't think so. I don't think so, but I don't think humans really, because everyone I've talked to about AI, I don't know if they're just sticking their head in the sand and choosing to ignore me. And they might, or ignore just it in general, or if they just don't understand growth in general. Like people think technology grows like this, like what I have right here, this red line. They don't understand it's exponential and how it doubles and doubles and doubles, and it actually, let's get my paintbrush out. Like it curves up, and we're right here. Like we're just starting to wrap this thing up, and it's going to take off. So in the next 5 years, I don't think you even recognize the world right. I think it changes that fast. I don't know if quantum's the reason or if quantum just happens to be in that time frame. People hate two things: one, change, things they don't, and two, things they don't understand. They do, but it's mind-boggling. You can either, the way I see it, you're on this train ride. No amount of complaining on Facebook, TikTok is going to make a difference. At least if you see what's coming, if you know that train's going to get derailed, at least you get to pick a seat. You could be the person in the seat's like, nah, this thing's fine, and you're just going to ignore the fact that the tracks end. Or you can pick a seat that you think's best. You might just pick a window seat and enjoy the ride. Don Ross painting some zones. Just pull up Tesla if you want to see exponential. Yeah. So here's online, dial up. Here's cable. Like, all right, now we kind of got AT&T fiber, and then AI comes along and just sends this thing to the moon. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Timeline wise, 5 years from now, I think a lot of things have changed. I don't think people actually realize that. People feared the automatic sewing machine when it came out. Embrace the technology. Yeah, and ATMs and every time there's a new machine coming out, it's the end of time. I think it's going to be amazing. I am going to have a horde of these robots because it's going to be awesome. Spy to 7,000 until May to June and then crash. Interesting. I'm thinking March, but maybe I am early in May to June. I don't know if I would even argue that. You think Spy is going to push up another 1,000 points? So you're thinking timeline-wise, we're going to go to... It'd be right about there, as a matter of fact. Do you think we just continue this path up? That'd be impressive. Okay, so I do want to talk about a couple things, because if you are following my account, again, I post every play. It started from 0. You could have copied it. Right now we're at 15, 16,000, somewhere around there. Anyway, right now, we have Bitcoin, we have Beto, and we have Mara. So Beto, I chose to get Beto because it pays a dividend every month. So for every share you own of this, now again, we own it a lot cheaper, but for every share, you got 99 cents. So you got $1 for every share. For every $26 you had in this, every month you got $1. or better. Last month was 99 cents. The month before was $1.09. Month before that was $1.20. Month before that, $1.44, $1.50. I forget when we actually bought this. Is it $1.78? I don't think. No, we didn't ride it all the way up. We were down. We're somewhere in here. So we collected that dividend, and I wanted to use that money to buy other things, which is why I have. And what I'm going over here is how much I have in crypto in general, because we flat out bought some Bitcoin. Most of this just copies my main account. So I have Bitcoin. I buy Bitcoin every week. Bitcoin and Ethereum. I buy it every week. It's something I've been doing for a long time now. I have 15 coins. Takes a long time to get there, but if you never started, you probably have zero. You're talking about the Bitcoin dust that you have, that some people call it, in the account. So we bought Beto, and I kind of thought crypto was going to do its thing, as it did. And so that got up. So we got share appreciation, and we got the dividend. The dividend that I said do not turn drip on, which is dividend reinvestment, so it automatically buys more. So that's turned off. We use those funds to buy other things. So I wanted something outside of tech. So we did buy XLU. Utilities. But anyway, besides the point, we also have Mara. Now, Mara is one I'm probably going to sell calls on, but because of the volatility, the Bitcoin miner, and they're playing the MicroStrategy game, I wanted this. Now, we bought Mara. We had a couple hundred shares. It popped up, sold 100 shares, so we still have 100. And now we're going to sell weekly calls on this. So it's very much still a weekly income play, also with some share appreciation there. To go over the difference, because when Bitcoin pulls back, and I don't see any bright red flags right now, but when Bitcoin does pull back, we're going to lighten this up a little bit. We'll keep the Bitcoin holdings, which if you're following me, this is why I switched the growth count was actually on an E-Trade account. Main point being, I wanted to show off that it needed to have a debit card. So if you wanted to spend, if you still had, some people don't have an emergency fund. I wanted to show off you can actually use this as an emergency fund without selling a single share, no taxable event. And you could still, if you had a flat tire, still get a new tire, and all that. But I switched to Robinhood so I could directly buy crypto as well. So again, Bitcoin, Beto, and Mara. We do have three things in that space. When Bitcoin pulls back, Beto will probably be the first to go unless Mara shows off its volatility and can really, if this thing starts to race to zero. I actually like Mara just in general, how it's doing things, diversifying into the data centers. And right now you can sell calls on this and actually still collect quite a bit for a $22 ticker. The premiums are a lot. So I wanted to at least go over, because someone did ask, like, hey, with all of these, why do we have this many? Why not put all the funds into one? Why not just have Mara over Beto? Why not take all that out and grab IBIT? IBIT is just a Bitcoin ETF. Would have been awesome, but we have actual Bitcoin. We've made a lot more than this particular one. So I wanted to answer just why I have the ones that I have. And should it pull back, the first one on the chopping block, I think, will be Beto. Great dividend. We've made a killing on it. No need to ride that all the way down. It's a little bit more consistent, a little bit easier to call out. We could chop that one as it dials back. We can buy it in again. Again, Beto will be first, then likely Mara, unless Mara just lights that fire. Just lights that fuse and just wants to send it. We'll close that one first. I don't mind closing both of them, to be honest. I know I'd have a lot of people calling out XRP right now. Now this one's not in the growth account. This one's just in my main account, and I made a video talking about why I bought it. It was down here at $1. Again, I'll give you the TLDR. I bought it here. I added on up here. It sent it up. I sold a little over half because it was just more than doubled my money, so I locked it in. As much as I hate saying it, I'm playing with the casino's money. I don't like that saying. I actually think it's really stupid. But I did. I took all my investment right back out, and I was still up. And in fact, I'm debating on now. First of all, I did that up here, came back down to this 230, which is why in the previous streams you saw my alert there. The alert went off at 230. I did buy that right back in. I've even debated on adding a little bit more to it because it's actually holding pretty well. right now, as far as XRP, this is something the banking system I do think will use. I think this is not this is I've said this before. This is not a meme coin. This particular one, I think is here to stay. Not only here to stay, but to actually be widely used. So I'm even debating on adding a little bit more. Brand new trader here. What's your tip on meme coins or for people underage? Ooh, talk to your parents. For people underage, there's probably a whole slew of legal things I need to say on that. Um, if I was talking to my younger self, I would say pay attention, is what I would say. My one of my admins in my group, if I was his age when I did this and what he has, I would have an island by now. So I couldn't imagine knowing what I know now, or and sorry, not to my own horn, following someone like me at a younger age like that, what I would have in the coming years. Dominico says ADA Cardano. I do have Cardano. It was a buy and hold for me a while back, and honestly, it's right back. I'm up, but I had it back here. No, wait, hang on, let's go back. Yeah, I had it back here. So it's done nothing for me. I'm probably slightly up, if not break even right now. It was one I liked, not one I was pressured to continuously buy. There was a handful that I bought just to hold, and we'll see if it plays out. That's kind of how I do things. I actually still like this one, not one I'm playing the in and out game on or dumping a whole bunch in to see where it goes. How much is the growth account up? Like 150 something percent, somewhere around there. Take notes when you're able to do it. You'll do well. I struggle to answer how much is the growth account up, because how much would you be up following it versus how much am I up? Because there was a lot of months where it was slow. When you only have a couple $100, there's only so many moves you can make. So, if you take the end result, you $7,000 in deposits because you just deposit that 150, and it's at at one point I think the highs was like 16 something thousand. You can take that percentage, but if you take the percentage of all my actual plays, and let's say you started with 10 grand and just followed that, you're up a lot more than 150%. Underage higher than 16. Okay, so you're close. Still, you can't even open an account without a Guardian account, so your parents need to open that up for you. Meme coins, stay away. 100%. Stay away. There's no sense in you losing money just because. And if someone says you're young, stop it. Say, you're right, I am, but I'm not that young, and I'm not stupid enough to listen to you. Anyone that says that you're young and make mistakes, you don't have to. Okay. You can jump off a building. It doesn't really matter what your age is. It's the same effect when you splat right there on the ground. I didn't touch any meme coins when I did. I didn't touch any meme coins when I did. I got scammed and lost 90+%. Yikes. I turned 13,000. Oh, I did 250K this year. Taxman's going to love it. They will. But remember, this is a legal business. You're not selling drugs. This is stocks, crypto, futures. I trade all asset classes depending on what you're in. So paying taxes is a good thing. It means you made money. Don't believe in XRP. John Smith must have just now joined, because that's a question mark. No, I do. I just went over XRP. If you're on YouTube, actually click rewind and go over that. But I'm teaching my 10-year-old, not meme coins, selling options on Ford. That is a great one. I think next year it's going to get a lot cheaper, though. I think automotive is going to get destroyed next year. So it'll be a great one if you actually still believe in that, to actually probably pick up some cheap shares and go that route. What do you say, man? Splat on the ground? Not a sentence. Not a sentence I thought I'd hear tonight. I just hate when people say you're young, take risks. Like, just because you're young doesn't mean be stupid. I mean, When people say that, they say, "Oh, you're young, take a risk, buy the risky stuff. If it goes away, you have time to make it up." Like time does a lot with compounding interest and doing really cool things. But just imagine if you were young and didn't make stupid decisions. You have that much more time growing an actual nest egg. Like that's what drives me nuts. Like, hey, imagine being 20 and being stupid. Yeah, you can still turn things around. But imagine being 20 and making the right decisions. Right? You're retired by 30, 35, or do what I did. You can do that, and then you can just get bored out of your mind, know that retirement's not for you, and go do something else. Like it's not a bad place to be in. Bet putting 20K in Nvidia tomorrow. Which leads me to my next saying: have a plan or plan to fail. You can buy the big dogs, doesn't mean they go up continuously. They will have pullbacks, kind of like Google right now. Google's pulling back into this zone. For right now, I do think that is a dip buy right here. They announced their Willow chip, absolutely sending it. This is some profit taking and a pullback. I just think we're going to be bullish the end of the year. No one's looking to just lock in a whole bunch of profit and pay a whole bunch more taxes right now. If anything, they're looking to sell the ones that are down to offset a tax bill. So if they're already red, they actually just might get the hammer a little bit. The green ones might just get left alone. But I do think right now is a dip buy. I want to hedge my Bitcoin with iBit out of the money. 6-month puts. Is that dumb? So technically, no one has it. I can't say no one has a crystal ball because there's one on my desk right now, but no one knows the future. You might hedge it with those puts, and it might pan out great. Bitcoin pulls back to 85 grand. Those puts are going to look real awesome. You said I smell something, and even you think something is coming. That's next year. Yeah, and you can. The real question when you hedge a portfolio is not when you set out to hedge. If you really wanted to make money, you would sell where you're at and then possibly go short. But a hedge is, hey, this thing's coming. I just want to make it out alive. A hedge is an airbag. The idea is to spend less, save some face, and the really cool thing about an airbag is, first of all, everyone that has a car, you paid for your airbag. It came out of your account. It was a part in that car. If it never goes off, it's a really cool story, but you wasted your money on an airbag. If it goes off and that thing goes tumbling, you want to take your car to do some cartwheels in a field, that airbag's going to be real nice at about that point. So the idea is if it goes to zero, like anytime I'm in Tesla puts, if Tesla pulls back, puts are awesome. If Tesla goes up, don't think that I lost money. Like I might have lost a little bit on that put play, but I got rich. Like my money only went up. So that's kind of where you want to be at. You can definitely go too much and just cancel any future gains. You can go too little and not really do anything. You can actually still waste your money buying too little. You want to find that sweet spot, and you want to spend less in case nothing does happen. What if I'm wrong? What if the crash isn't next year? You just want to, if it's there, have that. So I wouldn't go crazy. And 6 months out might be too soon because if I'm wrong, I doubt I'm wrong. I know that's very cocky to say. One of my admins is here tonight, and he will tell you I'm never wrong. I'm early sometimes. And then that's kind of what I'm saying right now is if I'm early and it's not March, let's say it starts in June, your puts go straight to zero almost, and then you're going to watch it tank. So if I were to do something like that, it would at least be probably December. If not, I would wait until we see something and then jump on that train short. 100% on being early. Yeah. How much longer for Doge? I've got 9K in at 41 cents. Doge will probably be fine as long as Bitcoin keeps pushing up. But you guys have to remember, Bitcoin's pushing up. Meme coins are going crazy. Doge is doing nothing. Now, Doge hasn't gone down, which is awesome. Because once it breaks 33 cents, 33 and a half, that thing's going to hop down. And I know it's Elon's coin, and Elon talks about it. And Doge is not. Sorry, it's just not going to be the future. If there was a meme coin you wanted to be in, it was Doge, just because you had someone like Elon. If Elon did not ever talk about Doge, this would not be here. So you have all your eggs in one basket on one premise, and that's it. Now, 14 million Doge coins are made each day, which means you need to buy that. You need to buy 14 million just to break it even, just for it to not move. So then you need to exceed that. And exceed any sellers that are in there just to make it go up. So this is an uphill battle. Doge right now is a lot higher than it was the last time it was when we were at that Saturday Night Live and it pushed to 70 cents or something. Is it not even on here? Yeah, when it really shot up, Doge right now is higher than that. It's not technically more because of just how the things play out. But I would take that into consideration. And, at the very least, maybe make some YouTube videos about it. You can be like Doge Boy or whatever. The guy that went from 60,000, 30,000, whatever his whole life saving was, put it into Doge, was up 3 or 4 million and didn't sell any and wrote it all the way back down. At least you get to make videos and tell everybody what you did. All right. MSTR. Right now, I'll cover this, but I do have to get going. I still have to do a Zoom call tonight with my group. If you're interested in that, it is the Patreon link. Or if you're seeing this before Christmas, donfranshow.teachable.com. If you buy the course, that is lifetime. As far as MicroStrategy jumped up. Let me see where it's at on Robinhood real quick. Right now, we are at 434.45. Okay, so MicroStrategy is actually up here. With Bitcoin where it's at, Robinhood is up. I think we're going for it. So shout out to everybody in MicroStrategy or MSTY or even BITO. For everyone that's in MSTY, which is the basically they sell call options. It's at $40 right now. Not bad. Cryptocurrency is a momentum trade. Sell before it goes south. Kind of. There's definitely a lot that fit that category. Yes. Anyway, right now it really needs to get above this blue zone. Right now we're at 434, so we're at the height of this. I would watch out for the sellers at around this $480 to $500 mark. For everyone in my group that has puts sold on MicroStrategy, I would close those at bright and early tomorrow morning, just in case Bitcoin pulls back to the bottom of this channel, because all it's going to do is go up and come down, just like it has before, multiple times in this specific channel alone. I would sell those puts, or sorry, I'd buy those puts back. A lot of my group has puts sold on there. And if it pulls back, then I would sell some more because MicroStrategy, MSTY, BITO, Mara will probably all take a hit when it pulls back like that. And I would just play that game. And the second we get close up to here, I'm closing those puts. When it jumps back down, I'm selling the puts again. When do I think is a good time to get out of Doge? Inauguration day? Oh, man. Talk about putting me in a screwed spot. Honestly, if it breaks this yellow zone, when I would be out. 33 and actually 32.326 would be my stop on that. No way I'd want to ride this thing all the way back down. And if that was going to make me panic because I was over allocated, then 0.386 would be my stop. Right now, things don't look half bad. It's sold off, but it's holding this zone. That's good. It's where the buyers are at. You really want the buyers to stay. If they don't stay, the question is when do you become a seller? Because the people who sell first will lock in more than you, and that's it. And I don't want to create any FOMO or anything like that. That's how the game is played. If you guys really want to get good at this, you have to be a better loser. Buying things and watching your money go up, anybody can do. I mean, look at everybody on YouTube. Those guys don't know the slightest thing. They are for every better. No, I don't have any better words. They're just kind of ignorant or stupid. And they make money. They're not lying when they said they make a whole bunch, paper count or not. Then they're not keeping it. You got to learn how to lose if you really want to be in here long term. So it's not where it's going to go. Everyone can tell me how high something's going to go, and every dollar and how much and what they'll buy. They know that if it goes to $1 million, I can tell you exactly the model, trim, package, and color of Lamborghini I'm going to buy. But they will not tell you what they're going to do when it goes south, and that's the biggest problem. Um, how much have I ever made from one day of trading? My PR is 97,000. I have not cracked the 6 digits yet. I was so close. Anyway, guys, I got to wrap it up here. Midship Group, we're going live right now. Zoom call. Everyone else, if you're curious about that is the Patreon or Teachable. Anyway, good luck this week. I'll see you guys, Wednesday? Maybe in between, but for sure Wednesday. Have a good one.